Okay, welcome back to the Closure Room AZ. I'm Jesse Moreno, and we are back with Brian Lang from Buyers Protection Group. It's a Fidelity National company. In part one, you guys, we broke down who BPG is, how big their footprint is, and exactly what goes into a full home inspection from the drive up to the inbox when you get that home inspection. Today, we're going to get into some stuff that actually move the deals here. The report, the WDO, which is the wood destroying organisms inspection. Okay, yeah. The 90-day guarantee. This is where buyers either breathe easy or start making calls. So, Brian, let's jump right into it. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So we know that BPG does, and we know what they do, and we know about their home inspection runs, right? We talked about what happens after the inspector leaves, where the deal, where that deal gets saved and blown up at when we're doing these, when they do home inspections. So we're going to dig into it. So let's talk about the WDO inspection.
Sure. Yeah. So the WDO, which is an acronym for Wood Destroying Organism, we actually provide a WDIR, Wood Destroying Inspection Report. So that report is provided to the lender, and we perform the inspection during the home inspection, Jesse. So as we're doing the home inspection, we're also doing conditions conducive. You've heard that term before. What brings termites to the house? That's a condition conducive. We show damages from past intrusions. So there's some termite damage in that front fascia. You can tell because you have that little damage in that front there. It looks like it's been eaten this way, always with the grain, and not against the grain. That's usually a typical sign of wood destroying insect damage. We report that. We report there's had any treatment on the property as well too. Has the house been treated for termites after the initial treatment? So that is actually listed as well too. Again, photographs are actually in the home inspection report, Jesse.
Sure.
Of those conditions conducive damages, but we rely that and then put it into the WDO report, which is actually what the lender's looking for.
Gotcha.
The address, my license number, our property address, the dates, all that information is in there. The actual drawing, we have to actually put a drawing on the graph of the exterior foundation and where those conditions conducive were listed as well too.
Gotcha.
The reason why my realtors love that we're doing the home inspection and the termite is because we're there doing an inspection only, Jesse. We're not doing hey, you know what? For another $50, we can do a preventive treatment on this. Even though you don't have termites, we can keep those little buggers away. So we're not selling anything. My realtors don't want the buyers to be, not another thing. Okay,
right?
Just give us the inspection. Tell us if we got termites. If we do, then we send it out.
Yeah, and I love that, Brian. I got to tell you, I do like that because I've worked with a lot of different home inspectors, and there's there's an additional service for that service. I can't, to be honest with you, and as you're telling me this, I'm thinking to myself, well, have I worked with another inspector where that was included? And I don't think so.
No, we're probably one of the first companies to do it.
Is it okay?
All of our inspectors are licensed by the Arizona Department of Agriculture here in Arizona to do termite inspections.
Wow. Now, for my listeners, right, and even for realtors, perhaps. So we know termites is for wood, people that has wood structure in the property. But what about block walls?
Everybody thinks, just because I have block walls doesn't mean I'm going to get termites. That's not true.
Not true.
Okay, not true at all. The termites are stupid. Yeah, I'll give you the right thing. If they can figure something up they're going to try to get up a wall, go around a corner. They're looking for food, and that's what those little buggers like. One of my favorite stories was I had a house that I had done probably about 12 years ago, and it still sticks in my mind. This guy had this one section where he had plants up against the house, and it was constantly being watered. It was constantly wet, so that's what the termites like, that wet, moist soil. So he kept getting termites up the walls. So instead of having it treated, he just kept wiping the shelter tubes down. So the termites were getting up into the house. They had gotten up into the attic, Jesse.
Yikes.
When I was in the attic, you could put your fingers through the trusses. They had actually gotten up into the system, into the structural component of the house, and literally had made the truss system lunch. And they had destroyed a lot of components.
Yikes.
Now, subterranean termites move very, very slow. It would take years in order for that to happen in a regular situation. But this guy just neglected it and just, it'll go away. You can't let things go away.
Right.
Termites, when you see the shelter tubes, and everybody knows what the shelter tubes look like, little dirt tubes.
Yep.
I always invite everybody once a month, just walk around the house, see if you see those little buggers. If you do, just get it treated.
Right.
It's important.
You know, people think, and I had a conversation the other day. Someone says, "Well, I don't think we need to do a termite inspection because we're in Arizona. It's too hot. They're not." But man, they're all over the place. It doesn't matter if you're in the valley or up in the mountains. I mean, you're going to get them.
We're
here
in
too.
that, yeah. Arizona is in that. If you look at the United States, we're in that bottom half of where subterranean termites really, really are prevalent.
Really? Wow. All right, man. Thank you so much for sharing about that.
Yeah.
That's good to know. All right, let's talk about how to read the reports here. How to read these, right? So you guys deliver, you know, we mentioned digital photos, pictures, usually within 24 hours, right? So when a buyer opens that report and sees all that information, that long list, and it's intimidating sometimes. Let's be honest.
It can be. It can.
Because even as an agent, when I get it, I'm like, yikes, this is like 60 pages worth of all kind of information.
Right.
It can get a little, you know, we get into panic mode. And of course, the buyer right away gets into that. I want everything fixed.
Yeah.
I want everything that I see here. And of course, we got to be selective. In my opinion, some things are just maybe easy repair, like the faceplate on the wall. I mean, you look at it, you'll find that it's broken, but it's $1. You know, you go to Home Depot and buy that piece for $1, right?
Exactly.
So things like that nature. But how do you coach buyers and agents when they read that report?
Yeah, so we have developed a report that is very user friendly. Number one, it does have the digital photographs, but here it is. So I provide 2 reports to my client and my realtors. It's the property information report and the key findings report. It's 2 different reports. The property information report is something I tell the client, this is your report. This is yours. Here's the house. I show the pictures of all of where everything's shut offs, you know, what the exterior is, the different elevations. Now, as a realtor, you don't want to look at that. You just need to go, Brian, give me nuts and bolts.
Right.
Well, the nuts and bolts are the key findings report. So that key findings report is then I color code that. So action items, HVAC's not working, the roof's dilapidated. We need to get a new roofer in here, and have a roofer evaluate. There's major electrical issues. There's safety issues. Red. Blue items are consideration. Broken plate. Yeah, the oven handle's a little loose. You know, stuff like that. You could still move into the house, Jesse, but yeah, I want you to think about, fixing it. You know, and it's kind of like I got to give you something. I always tell the clients, I got to give you something to do. You got to get some honeydews to do, and they laugh. And that's what they. But I said, but just make sure you read the entire report. But the ones that are red are the ones that really want you to pay attention to. So it helps my realtors go, oh, this is so. I mean, we put things in priority, you know, and it helps my realtors. Oh, yeah, that helps me navigate this Binzer.
Sure.
For my client. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Good point. All right. The 90-day guarantee then. Let's get into that one.
We do have the 90-day guarantee. And what that is, it's a guarantee on those items with no specific concerns in the report. So I didn't write anything up. There was no issues on, the stove, but the 90-day guarantee will help, if it fails. But, if there was, an electrical issue that blew it up, obviously that's not my concern. You had an electrical issue that I might have written up on that. That's why it blew up or had some issues. But it's in place there to kind of give peace of mind. Absolutely.
Yeah. Does that 90-day also cover things like your appliance? Like, is it everything that's on that report?
Yeah. The bigger things that like HVAC, roof,
right?
Bigger components. The big dollar ticket items.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I mean. And when you hear the word guarantee, sometimes that's a little bit, a little bit of a comfort, I guess, right? Absolutely. You're like, okay,
and
something goes wrong.
New buyers.
Yes, absolutely. It also, so let me kind of back up a little bit. I don't know if I meant to ask you this before or not, or when we talked about our podcast that we're going to be doing, but when you do a home inspection, it's not just for, it's also for new builds.
Yeah.
Right. So that warranty it also covers a new build property. Does it follow? Because sometimes the buyers will say, "Well, the builder is giving me a warranty for the next year on this property." I mean, how does your warranty, that 90-day kind of?
Yeah. So the warranty is actually most of the HVAC systems now are 10 years. So the Lennox, Goodman, Train, though manufacturer warranties are about 10 years. And then you'll have a warranty on that. So the builders, We do it kind of subsidize that if it needs to be, but we're always going to fall onto builders' manufacturer warranties first on new builds, on new construction, because it's a better better protection for our clients.
Cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha. A lot of information, a lot of high level information as I say it. And I want to dive a little deeper into some of these things, but I'm thinking to myself, man, we want to keep you guys on this podcast to be listening and watching. But most importantly, I want you to reach out to Brian, because I think there's a lot more behind some of these things that he's sharing with you that you can really dig in with him. And it doesn't cost you anything to reach out to him, just to give him a call. And look, we're going to be closing up part 2 of our podcast here in a second. But like I said, you got to make sure you reach out to him. And if so, how do we get a hold of you?
Brian.lang@bpginspections.com. My cell phone, 602-459-2637. Or call my office at 800-285-3001. We're a multi-inspection firm, so if I'm not available, I've got 6 other brothers here in town.
All right. Well, like I said, real information that helps people make better decisions. So you got to make sure you guys reach out to him. We're going to jump into part 3 here in a second. We're going to be shifting to sellers and new construction buyers. Why you should get an inspection before you list. We'll talk about that. Why brand new doesn't mean problem free. We're going to talk about that. And how the BPG easy order system they have is making agents' lives a little bit easier. So that's going to come up next, you guys. So stick around. Make sure you hit subscribe, drop a comment, scan the QR code, connect with me directly through that QR code. I'm Jesse Moreno. This is the Closing Room AZ. Have a great day, you guys. And remember, set no limits.